It's indeed a great pleasure to be back at IIPM. I recall distinctly, I came here for the first time, was it July last or August last, and I was indeed very impressed by the campus, by the quality of interaction which I had with the students. And I could see that here was an institution which was adding value to the lives of young people who would then go out and become leaders, motivators, managers in their own respective arenas. This convocation today is taking place in the backdrop of possibly the worst economic crisis that the world ever witnessed after 1933. As the world still struggles to cope with the effects of the 2008 global meltdown, we are stared in the face by the European crisis, which has just started unfolding. The reverberations of the derivatives, leverages crisis, which essentially can be characterized in one word, and that was the reaching of the pinnacle of human greed, did not even leave the Indian economy untouched. Though we were not as badly hit as others, but yes, 2008, 2009 was not essentially a very good year for the Indian economy after having clocked a 9% GDP growth rate from 2004 to 2008. But nonetheless, because of the inherent resilience of the Indian economy, because of our huge savings to GDP ratio, because of very strong fundamentals, we were able to recover. And not only recover, but in the process, stabilize our economy and also look at as to what are those structural changes that we need to bring about, so that if ever we are visited by a crisis of the same proportions, we do not even stumble to the little extent that we did in 2008, 2009. And the reason why I started with this is because when Arindam was speaking, he was saying that national economic planning is central or is at the core of the entire curricula which is taught in the IIPM. So therefore, it's very important as the class of 2009 ventures out into the world to really contextualize as to what is the kind of world that they are going to be walking into. 2 or 3 centuries between the 17th and the 20th, the balance of power first shifted to Europe, then shifted to the United States of America, and in the 21st century, it is shifting back to Asia. And the biggest challenge which possibly India and also the world confronts is that how do we manage the peaceful rise of both India and China in the next decade? And the reason why I say that this is because if you look at it, notwithstanding the global economic meltdown, 2009, Chinese export figures stood at $1.4 trillion. 76% of the Chinese GDP came out of merchandise trade. And we do not really come up the curve in that comparison because our merchandise trade stands at only about 27%. And that's why when you go out as managers, as leaders, and look at the bottom line of your companies, look at the strategic direction, the trajectory that your companies will take, never ever forget the big picture. And the big picture being that every small step that you take is going to be a giant step in the emergence of India as a power in its own right. It's the dynamic of the five Asian powers, United States, Russia, China, Japan, and India, which is going to shape the 21st century. And the cross for ensuring that India does not come out as a cropper, but India comes out at the top. The mantle, the baton, is on the generation that sits in front of us. It's your hard work, it's your perseverance, and more importantly, your vision, which is going to transform this country in the next decade or two to come. So while I congratulate you, while I wish you all success in life, I would only give you one talisman, that in whatever you do, please do keep this at the back and in the front of your mind, that your contribution is a contribution to India's greatness. Thank you very much.